Ashes to Awareness, the true story of Cinderella. Once upon a time there was only light, and then a doubt appeared. What if I am not enough? That single doubt cooled into cinders, and those cinders were given a name. The world called her Cinderella, Little Ashes, a story of neglect and sudden success. But neglect begins as a thought, and thoughts project the world that seems to prove them. Her house is not a place but an outpicturing of self-concept. The attic is the high room where guilt stores its furniture. The stepmother is the inner judge that compares and condemns. The stepsisters are contempt and envy, two hands of the same self-attack. Every step in stepmother and stepsister is a step away from oneness. In heaven there are no steps, only stillness. Ash on her skin is the residue of misidentification, not a stain on a sinless self. The chores are the ego's religion of earning love through exhaustion. Work harder, scrub more, maybe then you will deserve to be seen. Peasant thinking makes peasant worlds, but only in belief, never in truth. Then comes the royal announcement, a glittering advertisement for salvation through specialness. Be chosen, be seen, be crowned, and finally be worthy. The ego sells a ticket to a ballroom and calls it redemption. But beneath the noise, another voice whispers, "You were chosen before the world began." Her tears at the hearth are not defeat. They are the prayer before surrender. Light does not enter from elsewhere. It uncovers what never left. The fairy godmother is simply the Holy Spirit in story form. Correction appears as kindness because love translates itself into symbols we can accept. Notice the miracles do not create new matter. They reinterpret what already is. The pumpkin becomes a carriage, ordinary perception repurposed for holy transport. The mice become horses, small disregarded thoughts turned powerful when yoked to purpose. Even rags become radiance, because forgiveness alters sight, not substance. This is the Course's quiet promise. I will take what you made to hurt and use it to heal. The gown is not fabric, it is forgiveness woven into form. The wand is not magic, it is willingness. The instruction is clear, return by midnight, for time cannot hold the holy. Midnight is not punishment, it is awakening as illusion times out. The ego's enchantment expires because it was only wishful rearrangement of nothing. Spirit's correction remains because it reflects what is. She enters the ball and every eye stares, projection meeting purity. The prince is not an external rescuer, but the remembering self. He recognizes rather than selects, for love makes no comparisons. The dance is union, not romance, the mind circling back to source. Each turn unspins another grievance. Each step gives back a stolen innocence. Joy has no strategy, so she forgets the clock. When the chimes begin, she panics, not from danger, but from light. The fear is not of loss, but of the end of hiding. She runs because the ego says glory cannot be safe. A slipper falls behind her, a token of transparency left as proof that nothing was ever owned. Glass is the metaphor of a mind with nothing to conceal. It cuts nothing and hides nothing, and it fits only truth. The prince's search is the patience of spirit, certain of the fit and unhurried by time. Every house is visited because every mind is invited. The stepsisters ram their feet into what cannot be forced. The judge at the door laughs because judgment always laughs at innocence. But laughter cannot lock a door that willingness intends to open. Mice carry keys because small kindnesses open large prisons. When she appears, she does not argue, she simply tries on recognition. The shoe fits because it always fit, and only pretending made it seem otherwise. He asks no questions because truth requires none. She answers with presence because innocence defends nothing. Marriage follows not as reward but as symbol of single mind. Happily ever after is not a castle but awareness. Here is the metaphysical translation the world never tells. Cinderella is not rescued from others, she is released from self-concept. The so-called wicked stepmother is a call for love within the mind. Everything is either love or a call for love, and both ask for the same response. To hate the persecutor is to polish the chains. To bless the image is to remember the light behind it. The Course says love makes no comparisons, and the ballroom is where comparisons go to die. The Course says you are altogether beautiful and good, and the gown merely stops arguing. The Course says in you is all of heaven, and the palace is the metaphor you can accept today. Form over content is the ego's slogan, but content over form is the spirit's. The world sees a shoe test, the mind learns a truth test. Do I still prefer appearances to recognition? Do I still want to be special more than I want to be free? Midnight returns daily in small, honest moments. When the clock strikes, what was borrowed from illusion dissolves. What is real remains without effort. This is why the fairy godmother fades, because correction is unnecessary once the lesson is learned. This is why the prince speaks simply, because truth needs no glitter. This is why the attic door opens, because guilt has no lock that willingness cannot lift. The pumpkin teaches that anything can carry holiness when given to purpose. The mice teach that the least in the kingdom do the greatest work when joined. The broom teaches that forgiveness is the only sweeping that actually cleans. The ash teaches that false identity cannot stain the changeless. The mirror over the mantle would say, "Look and laugh, for soot is only story." And the story ends before it begins, because holiness never changed. We talk of arcs and journeys because time is our favorite costume. But awakening reveals there was nowhere to go and nothing to become. Cinderella does not transform into worthy, she remembers worthiness as fact. The ego promises makeovers, the spirit offers memory. One paints rags with gold, the other removes the paint. One sells attention, the other gives vision. One fears midnight, the other welcomes morning. You may call this a romance, but it is recognition. You may call this justice, but it is mercy. You may call this luck, but it is certainty. She did not win a contest. She stopped competing with what she is. She did not escape a house. She exited a thought. She did not impress a prince, she expressed herself. The glass slipper is the curriculum of transparency, nothing hidden and nothing to hide. It does not stretch for ego, and it does not shrink for shame. It simply fits the foot that stands in truth. Try to steal it and it cuts, try to smash it and it vanishes, try to ignore it and it glitters underfoot. That is how forgiveness works, gentle and uncompromising at once. It turns pumpkins into carriages without pretending pumpkins were mistakes. It turns vermin into steeds without pretending vermin were evil. It turns chores into offerings without pretending dirt was sin. It turns midnight into mercy without pretending the day was lost. So what finally is the happily ever after? It is the quiet knowledge that nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal exists. It is the end of bargaining and the beginning of laughter. It is the recognition that the prince and the maiden are one mind. It is the discovery that the light that called from the ballroom was calling from the hearth. It is the relief that peasant thinking cannot define a child of God. And it is the smile that crosses her face when she sees the soot was never real. The dirty mind was never dirty, only dreaming of dust. The glass slipper was never lost, only waiting where she left her honesty. The door was never locked, only leaned on by fear. The dance was never about a partner. It was about remembering the rhythm of heaven. Ashes to awareness is not a climb, but a decision. Say yes to the invitation and time bows out. Say yes and the steps disappear. Say yes and the shoe fits because it always did. And in that yes, the story closes itself with a laugh, for nothing real was ever missing.